Hello. Have you ever wondered why your brain keeps sabotaging you? As a teenager, your brain sabotages you all the time. It's almost like you can't rely on yourself. Now, in this video, I'm going to be telling you why your brain keeps sabotaging you. And also, I'm going to be teaching you how to outsmart your brain. All right, so my name is Faith Ziga. I'm a teen coach. I teach you how to maximize your teen age and transit into adulthood smoothly. All right, so let's say real talk. You have an exams tomorrow, and today it's about 10 p.m. You're on your phone scrolling, and you tell yourself, okay, I'm going to do more 30 minutes on phone, and then I'm going to drop the phone and sleep and get ready for exams tomorrow. And 20 minutes into that, you're still scrolling deep on TikTok. And then boom, out of nowhere, there's a pop-up from your group chats. Someone makes a fun of you. And before you know it, you give a savage response. Everybody is reacting. The adrenaline is pumping everywhere. You're so excited. You're going back and forth, chats, screenshots flying, and all that. And before you know it, it is 1 a.m. into the night. You're exhausted. You're worked up. You're confused. You don't know why you had to stay up that long and engage in that unnecessary back and forth conversation or agitation with your friends. And at this point, you begin to wonder, why did I do it? Why didn't I just drop my phone when I should? Why didn't I just sleep when I had the time to? And then exams is in a few hours. How ready are you? You begin to panic. Well, here's what nobody tells you. It's not that you're stupid. It's not that you're irresponsible or too emotional. No. That is because your brain CEO, I call it the CEO, the brain CEO, but your executive center, which is a prefrontal cortex, is actually still under construction. Okay, so I know you're going to be asking, I know you're going to be asking what that has to do with you. Okay, the prefrontal cortex is the part of the brain somewhere here in your behind the forehead, where it's like the processing center. That's where you process information, caution. It's like the brake to a car. That's what the prefrontal cortex is to the brain. So you can imagine that at this point when you're going through all these things, the prefrontal cortex is still coming on. Actually, neuroscience has proven that 95% of the brain forms fully by the time you're 6 years old. The remaining 5%, which is the most important part of your brain, takes its whole time to form between your 20s to your 30s. So you can imagine driving a car without brake for over a decade. That is what the prefrontal cortex is. So at the point where your amygdala, which is the part of the brain where that processes emotions, fear, it makes you conscious. It's like your security guard that tells you, oh, there's danger, oh, it's time to fight, it's time to run, it's time to do this. That amygdala is on full scale speed. So when you saw that message on the group chat and you started responding, the amygdala quickly went into panic mode and told you, boom, it's time to fight. It's time to do this. And you started responding to it. Meanwhile, your prefrontal cortex, which is supposed to caution you, say, okay, please calm down. Let's think about tomorrow. Let's think about the exams and all, was simply just taking its time to come in. And it's not like the prefrontal cortex is not there at all at this point, but it's still coming up. It's still maturing. It's not fully formed. It's still processing. So it is it is almost like it is silenced by every other part of the brain. So it is difficult for it to function in its full scale at this point, moment. That instant reaction, that rush, that inability to think about the next week, let alone the next day, that is not a character flaw. That is neurobiology at work. Your brain is still loading. But here is the thing. You cannot wait till you're in your 30s to make good decisions. So in this video, I'm going to be teaching you 3 hacks that actually works and help you to work with your brain, not against it. So hack number 1, the 10 minutes rule. At this point, your prefrontal cortex is very weak. It is not broken. Remember, it is not broken. It is just taking its time to boot. It's just like an old computer that takes forever to come on. Now, here's the move. The next time you feel the urge to do something impulsive, like send a risky SMS, buy something you know you can't afford, or make that post you know you're definitely going to regret, set a 10-minute timer. Not to calm down. Don't tell yourself to calm down. It never works. You know it never works. Just tell yourself, I'm going to do it. I'm definitely going to do it. But in 10 minutes time, I'm going to send that SMS. I'm going to call her. I'm going to make that post. I'm going to buy that stuff. But in 10 minutes, give yourself that time. Play that trick on your mind. Giving it time. Say, in 10 minutes, I'm going to do this. What happens in 10 minutes? That initial chemical dump, that adrenaline, that dopamine hits, they all fade away. Your prefrontal cortex now comes online. Remember, it is not broken. It is just weak and slow. So that 10 minutes gives it time to come on and do its work. And suddenly, you're not writing a manifesto about how your friend is a terrible person. You're just not that fired up anymore. And I literally use this for everything. Anger response. Should I buy this? Should I not buy it? Should I test my ex? Should I call this person? Should I spend this money? Virtually everything, and it works. It literally works every time. The goal isn't to tell yourself out of it. The goal is to let your brain finish loading before you make the call. Number 2, the environment design. Stop relying on willpower and start designing your environment. Like we've said over and over again, the prefrontal cortex is still developing. It is weak. So we can't rely on it to stop us from making bad decisions. So why don't you stop asking it to do so? Let's say, for instance, you told yourself by 7:30, I'm going to be doing my assignments, my homework, but you just say, okay, let me just check 1 or 2 things online and I'll drop my phone and get into it. And 3 hours of TikTok later, you begin to ask yourself, where did the time go? Now, here's the truth. The willpower is a finite resources. And for teenagers, it's even very limited. The prefrontal cortex gets tired and runs out of gas. So you need a system that works even when the prefrontal cortex is not active. Now, how do you do that? I'll give you some instances. You can say, okay, phones in the other room while you study. While you study, you put your phone in the other room, non-negotiable. So once it's time to study, if you're studying in the parlor, the phone is in the room. If you're studying in the room, the phone is in the parlor. Secondly, distraction apps are blocked after 9 p.m. It's automated. This particular one does not need you to make the decision at that time. So let's say, for instance, like the scenario I mentioned earlier, you had automated your TikTok to go off at that time. You won't need to start making the decision to put it on or put it off. Like on my phone, I have an optical setting that comes on at night and goes off in the morning. Is there. So at that time, I don't have to make the decision to either put it on or put it off because it's automated and it works. So secondly, distraction apps are blocked after a particular time, say 9 p.m. Then the next, homework at a particular spot, like a library or a cafe, places you know you will not be distracted. Instead of the bedroom, where you know that by the time you start doing it, you lie down or something, you go to the cafe or you go to the library or you go outside under a tree, anywhere that you know that you have your full concentration without distraction, you go there. Your environment is your prefrontal cortex. Build it smart, and you don't need a perfect self-control. Hack number 3, the future self anchor. And I love this very well. Your brain struggles with long-term consequences. Abstract future stuff does not register with the brain. It's not appealing to the brain. So make the future visceral. Make it emotional. Make it now. Let's say you're about to miss a football practice. And instead of telling yourself, I'm going to go out of shape if I don't attend practice, or I'm going to be out of form, try this instead. Tell yourself, if I miss today's practice, I am going to miss the next match. And when I miss the next match, I'm going to be watching from the sidelines. And I'm going to watch my replacement run my sports. And not only that, my teammates are going to be very disappointed with me because they spent the whole time practicing with me just for me to back out. Now that is strong enough. That is emotional, because your amygdala is emotional. It's too emotional. That's its language, and at this point your amygdala is ruling. So instead of working against it, you use what the amygdala wants to lure it into playing your role or playing your game. So you bring the emotional game to your brain. You see the difference? It is specific, emotional, visual. Your amygdala responds to emotions. So speak its language. Give your prefrontal cortex the ammunition that actually lands. The more detailed you make your future self, the more real the consequences become. And suddenly, the future you is no more this abstract concept. The future you is sitting right in front of you, begging the present you to make better choices. Now, here is something I want you to hear. You know the period where your brain is still under construction. It's not a handicap. It's not the period you just have to survive until you become a real adult. No, it's an opportunity. This period is a blessing in disguise. Now, listening to me, you might say, oh God, I am so disadvantaged. No, this time is here for a purpose. Now, when I was studying this neurological development, I really got to appreciate God's wisdom. You see, anytime you practice delayed gratification, you practice the 10 minutes rule, you practice the designing your environment, or you visualize your future self, you are consciously or unconsciously shaping your adult neural architecture. And that is so beautiful. And that is what distinguishes you from other people. So the teenagers who build these systems, who practice these skills, they are not just surviving adolescents. They are building a better operating system for their entire life. So you see how beautiful that is. Meanwhile, the teenagers who lean into every impulse, who says, that's just who I am, I can't help it. They are prone too. They are just prone into chaos. You're literally building your brain right now. So why don't you build something good? So the next time you're up late and about to do something drastic, remember this: your prefrontal cortex is still loading. And that's not an excuse for you to mess up your life, no. It's an information to help you succeed. You don't need a perfect self-control. What you need is a system that works with your brain and not against it. Now drop a comment below. What is your biggest why did I do that moment? And which of these 3 hacks are you going to be doing first or implementing first? I would love to know. So if you like more real talk about how to maximize your teen age, how to scale through it successfully, that's what I do. I teach teenagers how to maximize the teen age and scale through the hurdles and see things the way they really are and not just how you perceive them. Then hit the subscribe button and follow me for more. Your brain might still be loading, but that doesn't mean you can't start running better softwares today. See you in the next one. Have a nice day.